Greetings hobbyists, this is Artisans of All, and in this video we're going to be using curves to create 3D objects. So generally when we talk about 3D objects in Blender, we create things out of a mesh, for example this cube, but we can do a pretty good job doing the same thing with curves. And if you want something that's more rounded and easy to edit, this can be a really nice option. So let's just Shift A and we're going to come to curves and we're going to bring in a Bezier curve. And if we tab into edit mode, we've got our 2 points. I've suddenly realized I don't think I've done a video that's on curve basics, so I could do a Blender basics video on curves if anyone's interested. Though there is this video from when the curve pen was sort of new, so that might be interesting to you if you're looking at what you can do with curves. But anyway, we're going to add to this, so I'm just going to E to extrude this out, and then we'll just rotate this around, and we'll start having a look at what we can do here. So the first thing is that we need to turn this into a solid object, and realistically we want this flat. And there are lots of ways we could get this flat, but it is just going to be a bit tedious. Whereas if you come to the object data properties and change the shape from 3D to 2D, it flattens everything out into a plane. Now obviously in object mode we could rotate this round to whatever angle we want, and then this will still work. Notice everything is still working in the same plane. I've just rotated it around. So you aren't stuck just being left on something that moves along the Z-axis in terms of its thickness, but it just makes everything easier to manipulate. Next, we want to make this, well, a sort of solid object, so we're going to turn this into a ring. So I'm going to select the beginning and then the end and then hit F, and now this is all connected together. And we can now manipulate these as much as we want to get our shape that we desire. Let's do something like that. So something rounded, but not totally round. Now, if you decide that this is not got a good enough resolution, we can up the resolution from 12. I'm going to change this to 36, making it more rounded, and you can change that to whatever you want. And then from this point, we need to fill this to create a face, in essence. But if we come to this and hit F, this tells us that there's an error and we can't do this. So that is a slight problem. Oh, I should mention now that this is being done, we can click and shift click another vertex, and as long as they're next to each other, we can right click and get subdivide, and we get a new vertex that is automatically put on the curve in a way that doesn't disrupt it, but we can now move this around. I'm just going to get rid of that by undoing it. So the way that we make this solid is not a command, instead it is once again over here in the object data properties. And if we come to here where we've got fill mode, I'm going to come down and hit both. Notice there is an option for a back and a front. I'll come back to that later. So now that we've got this, we want to add some thickness to create our three-dimensional object. Now we could do this with a modifier by solidifying it, but we don't need to. If we come down to geometry, we can go to extrude, and this is going to extrude it in both directions to create our three-dimensional shape. So we can make this as wide as we want. There is also the option to offset. If we decide that we want this wider, we can use that. I'm going to put that back to 0, but we'll discuss that in a little bit. So next up, we might want to make this, well, a bit more rounded. And again, you can do this here. We just come to bevel where it says round, and we just change the depth. Now notice this is going to make it thicker in all directions to create this rounded bevel. So we get something that looks like this. Now we can change that in our different directions using the offset, so we can bring that in if we choose to. I'm going to put that back to 0, and we can change the extrude for how thick it's going to be. So we just need to bear that in mind, and we can manipulate it later. All the while we've still got all of these points that we can move around and change really easily. So this is something very editable. Now, one oddity here, I'm guessing there's some logic behind it, but it sort of does my head in, is that if we come to our wireframe so we can see what this is looking like, you'll notice that we have 5 segments on the bevel that we've created. Interestingly, our resolution is 4. That's because if I come back down to 0, we do get a chamfer, and therefore 1 segment. So if we go to 1, that's actually 2, and so on. So yeah, I'm not sure why they do that. I'm guessing there's some sort of reason for it, but whenever we bevel in any other format, 1 equals a chamfer, not 0. So yeah, not sure why, but just something to be aware of. Let's just turn off of that wireframe, and then we've got our 3D object with this nice beveling, and we can change that as much or as little as we want. Now at this point, it's probably time for us to come back to our fill mode and both. Now this will not change the amount that this extrudes. What instead it will affect is if there's a face, once we've extruded it, on each side. For example, if I go to just back, you'll notice that now only the bottom has it and the top doesn't, and we lose that beveled edging. Similarly, we can change this to front and we don't have anything on the bottom. I generally will just go to both because that's normally what you're going to want. Though you can do some interesting things here if you do that and then come to your modifier panel and add in a solidify modifier. We can make some potentially quite cool shapes. Let's just come here and shade that flat so you can see what we've sort of created. So there are some nice options here. Let's shade that smooth again and then get rid of that modifier if you want to use them. I'm just going to turn that back to both. So this is our shape. Now, one thing people get wrong, and I can understand why because it's quite different to the way the rest of Blender works, is that as a curved shape, this does not do a very good job interacting with booleans and other different objects. For example, if I wanted to cut a hole in this, you'd imagine that you want to bring it in a cylinder. Let's just up this to 128, scale this on everything but the Z, and then try to boolean this out. But if I click this, shift click, and then use ball tools with control and minus, it doesn't boolean. And if I come to here and go to a modifier and type in boolean, we don't even have boolean as an option. So we can't do that. Let's just delete that out. Instead, and this is the bit that's a little bit odd, let's just get rid of the bevel for now, I'll put that down to 0, is you actually just use another curve and you use it in edit mode. So I'm in edit mode now, and if I shift A and bring in, let's say, a circle, you'll notice, let's just G this to the outside, that anytime one curve object overlaps another one in 2D, it creates, well, basically a void. Though do note that when we do this with this sort of interaction, there can be some minor errors. But if I just scale this down and bring this over my object, it makes our hole. So it's actually very easy to do this. And if you then come back here and add back your bevel, it will bevel everything, which is really cool. So this becomes actually very easy to deal with, and we can still manipulate this shape should we choose to really, really quickly. The other option, if you wanted to, let's just select all these, X, and then delete those vertices, is I could select everything, Shift and D, and then S to scale that in. And then you've got that going on here. Maybe that's a bit too far. So this is pretty easy to do, and with all of the curve objects that are available, let's just delete that out again. So for example, Shift and A, you'll notice that I've got some simple shapes, and we could bring in a rectangle if we wanted to, and then have a rectangle that's been cut out of this. Now, there are some limits here. The bevel is working on everything, and we'd need to convert it into a mesh if we didn't want that to happen. And if you don't have all those additional curve object shapes, just go to Edit Preferences, and I think it's Add On and Extra, and you've got this extra curved objects. I don't know if with the new Blender you need to go to Get Extensions and try that as well. You might have to come in here and install it first in Get Extensions. I'm going to be honest, I've had this for so long that everything just transfers over when I go to a new version of Blender. So you might have to get extensions here if you want to Shift and A and have all of these additional options for your shapes. So let's just Control and Z, and I'm going to come back to here and just mention one final thing, and that is that unfortunately this doesn't make a quad shape. If we do this, what we get, let's turn on wireframe, is this quite ugly top face here that is not an n-gon, it's just a load of triangles. And this can be a bit annoying. For example, in this shape, this could easily be a series of quads because the inside shape is the same as the outside shape because I just duplicated it in. We're a bit limited on what we can do about that, but it is very easy to solve if you want to actually turn this into a 3D shape at some point that's not a curve. So what you can do at this point is right click, convert to, and then mesh. And then at that point, I can go into edit mode and select a face and either use the standard tools, so Shift and G, and then do coplanar, or if you've got Select Pro, I'm just going to A and do similar direction, and then we can X and delete out those faces, and then go into edge mode, Alt click there, and then Shift and Alt click there, and then we can Control and E and bridge edge loops, and now this is quad based. Do the same thing on the bottom, and you've got an entirely quad based shape. And from this point, if you decided that you wanted to do something like subdivide to make it even smoother, let's just turn off wireframe and then Control and 2, then you can do that and we get this very, very smoothed off object. But generally, I'd keep this as a curve for as long as possible for just how easy it is to manipulate. and change as much as you want. So there we go. That's using some curves to create a three-dimensional object, and these are really nice for 3D printing when you just want some interesting shapes. Hopefully you found that useful. If you did, please give the video a like. It's really appreciated. If you really want to, hit that hype button. No idea what that does still, but anything that helps out the channel is massively appreciated. And if you do want to go further, there is a link in the description to the Patreon page, where for a few dollars a month, you get these videos a week early, ad-free, and access to the channel Discord. I hope to see you in the next video, and have a great day.